Surely, at some point in your life, you probably wanted to adopt a new habit or get rid of an addiction. Without a doubt, there have been times when you have felt a strong desire to change things, start improving and act correctly. However, as you may have noticed, this is much more challenging than it seems. We have all experienced failure at some point, not being able to achieve what we set out to do. There is a crucial part of this process of becoming better people that is difficult for all of us to do, and that fundamental part is discipline. How many times have you made a plan, committed to your goals, and after a few days, you gave in to your impulses and went back to your old patterns? As I mentioned, this has happened to all of us at some point. However, just because it's a common experience doesn't mean it's right or that we should normalize it. Normalizing mediocrity only leads us to be mediocre, makes us conform, lose the desire to challenge ourselves in life and, ultimately, lose the opportunity to become the best version of ourselves. Let me tell you that if you can't overcome your addictions, change your habits, or achieve your goals, chances are you are experiencing a lack of discipline. Discipline is a person's ability to overcome their short-term desires, which are the enemy of changing habits. Therefore, to change habits, it is imperative to develop our discipline, which is basically the act of doing what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, even if you don't want to. In this video, I will explain why discipline is so crucial to improving in our endeavors. I will also discuss why it is becoming increasingly challenging to maintain discipline and provide several tips for strengthening your discipline. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you could like the video, as it will help spread this philosophy to more people. If you don't want to miss any videos, subscribe and activate the bell. I will also leave a link in the description of this video to my other social networks, where I share more content on this subject. Ancient philosophers argue that we must master ourselves, promoting self-examination, self-control, responsibility and objectivity. All of this helps us to live with virtue and lead a full and happy life. And the most fundamental tool for living with virtue is discipline. Discipline provides us with true freedom, as it empowers us to make choices. In today's world, many people are slaves to their desires, living like unconscious slaves, thinking they are free because they follow their impulses. However, true freedom lies in the ability to choose. Imagine two people, a lazy person who always wakes up late and neglects his obligations, and another who wakes up early and fulfills his responsibilities. At first glance, it may seem that the lazy person is freer because he does what he wants. However, the reality is that she has no ability to choose, as she is trapped by her laziness. On the other hand, the disciplined person has the ability to choose between being lazy or responsible every morning. This choice is available to her, and she chooses to act with discipline, because she knows it is the right path. This is true freedom, the ability to choose to be responsible when necessary and to enjoy leisure when responsibilities are fulfilled. The disciplined live freely, while the lazy are slaves to their own impulses, without the possibility of improving. This example can be applied to any addiction you can think of. Now that we've clarified how discipline makes us freer, it's important to understand what it means to be disciplined. Whenever we have a goal, whether it's losing weight, building a business, becoming an elite athlete or a talented musician, we have to constantly work towards it. It's not enough to just strive for a day, you need to maintain constant effort. Being disciplined means having the ability to overcome impulses and act despite the temptation not to do so. This doesn't mean you'll never feel the urge to relax, but rather that you've developed the ability to resist that feeling. The more you resist these urges, the better you will be at doing so in the future. Discipline develops like a muscle. It is also essential to understand the distinction between discipline and motivation. Motivation is, in fact, a powerful drive to accomplish tasks, but it is fickle. One day, you may wake up full of motivation, but the next day, that motivation may be gone. Therefore, someone who depends exclusively on motivation will never be able to make changes in their life or achieve their goals. As mentioned earlier, constant dedication is required, not just for a few days. However, when someone is disciplined, the results are different. Motivation can serve as a starting point, but when it fades, discipline takes over. It continually drives us towards our goals, even when we are devoid of motivation. Think of an elite athlete, who doesn't always feel like training, or a successful writer, who doesn't always feel like writing, or even a highly successful businessman, who isn't always motivated to work. This is where the difference manifests itself between those who are content with the minimum and those who aspire to improve. We all feel the urge to relax on the couch or in bed at certain times, but not everyone has the ability to resist that urge. This is where discipline trumps the rest. In the modern world, lack of discipline is becoming more common due to the increasing ease of life. When survival is not at stake, it is more difficult to fulfill responsibilities. We are surrounded by numerous temptations and distractions, such as television and social media, that compete for our attention and are designed to engage us. Furthermore, instant gratification is increasingly present in our lives, eliminating opportunities to practice discipline. Comfort and convenience, although not inherently bad, can lead us to excess comfort, which weakens our discipline. Discipline, by nature, is not pleasant, as it involves effort and sacrifice. However, this discomfort is what fuels our growth, gives us a sense of accomplishment, and allows us to surpass our limits. As Seneca said, the lack of diversity in life deprives man of the opportunity to be tested. Therefore, it is essential to recognize that comfort can be a valuable tool when used in moderation, but too much comfort can undermine our discipline and growth potential. So, when it comes to developing discipline, the first step to cultivating this skill is to identify a purpose and set a goal that you want to achieve. As I mentioned earlier, discipline is like a muscle and therefore needs to be trained in the same way. To make our discipline grow, it is necessary to create uncomfortable situations in our lives to practice it. Just like when training a muscle, you don't start by trying to lift 300 kilograms on the first day, but you start with light weight. The same principle applies to discipline. We must start with small challenges and goals that we want to achieve. Think about aspects of your life that are uncomfortable for you, but that you know you can overcome. Setting tasks that are beyond your current level of discipline is a waste of time, as is setting goals that you can achieve without much effort. Conquering these small uncomfortable tasks will help strengthen your discipline gradually, and you'll soon be able to challenge yourself with more difficult goals. Each goal accomplished is like a repetition we do to strengthen our discipline muscle. Here are some suggested goals you can set to work on your discipline. Establish a regular exercise routine, such as running a certain number of days a week or going to the gym. In addition to being beneficial for your health, it will make you feel satisfied and help strengthen your discipline. Attend sporting events in your city. Look for local sports competitions and use them as challenges to overcome yourself and strengthen your discipline. For example, sign up for a race. Consider learning a new hobby, such as cooking, sewing, or gardening. Cultivating new passions and interests is a great way to practice consistency and dedicate effort to enriching activities. Try building something. Engaging in a project that excites you and working to complete it is an ideal activity for developing patience, effort, and discipline. Challenge yourself to wake up early. Waking up at dawn can be a challenge for many, making it perfect for strengthening your discipline. Start gradually, you don't need to wake up too early all at once. I hope this content is useful to you in your search for more discipline or, at least, that it inspires you to improve yourself. Finally, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel to receive more enriching content related to Stoicism. Here are 2 videos full of historical wisdom that you will probably enjoy. Thank you and see you next time.